Hey guys, so in my last video, I shared that I got accepted to the master program in Sweden. So even before I got accepted, I've been learning Swedish and I've been doing it for 4 months now because if I get accepted, then I'm gonna move to Sweden and language is just something that I can't improve within 1 or 2 days. So in this video, I wanted to show you how I'm currently studying Swedish, not in a perfect or academic way, but just the real routine I've been following as a regular person preparing for life in Sweden. A lot of people think that Swedish isn't really a widely used language, and most people in Sweden speak very good English anyway, so even if you move there as a foreigner, you don't necessarily have to learn Swedish. And that could be true, but I personally see it a bit differently. I used to live in the Netherlands for about 3 years, and Dutch is also not a globally dominant language. Most Dutch people speak excellent English, so technically I didn't have to learn Dutch either. But what I realized from that experience was that if you really want to understand the people, the culture, and the way they think, language actually matters a lot more than you expect. There's a certain layer of emotion and nuance that you just can't fully access in English, and I think it's going to be the same in Sweden. That's why I decided to take learning Swedish seriously, not because I have to, but because I genuinely want to experience the country more deeply. Now, to be honest, I don't really have a lot of free time in my daily life to study Swedish. By the time I get home from work, it's already around 8 p.m. and after work I usually go to gym, and on my days off I spend time practicing music, so realistically I have to squeeze in study time whenever I can. But one thing I do have is a long commute, about 3 hours round trip every day, so I decided to use the time as my main study window. In the morning on my way to work, I usually read, and on my way back home, I focus on studying Swedish. But then I started thinking, what's the most efficient way to study in a crowded subway after work? And that's when I realized Duolingo actually works really well in this situation. It's simple, it's interactive, and most importantly, it doesn't require deep concentration. So even in a packed subway, I can still stay consistent with my Swedish every day. So I actually bought a 1 year Duolingo subscription for about 70 to 80 bucks, and looking back, it was definitely worth it. That said, Swedish is not one of those languages with a huge amount of content on Duolingo. So after studying for a little over 3 months, I've already completed the entire courses, and now I'm mostly just reviewing. But even though the course itself is relatively short, it's still been incredibly valuable. Just through Duolingo alone, I've picked up around 2,000 words. So what I do now is this. First, I go through my Duolingo daily refresh to keep everything active, and then I move on to Otasidor. Otasidor is basically a Swedish news platform written in simple Swedish, which makes it perfect for learners. But what makes it really useful is that it also has an audio feature. It actually reads the article out loud. That's perfect for me, especially on the subway, because I can do shadowing. So when I usually take about 4 to 5 articles, and I repeat each one around 3 times, reading and shadowing at the same time. After that, if I still have some time left, I switch to listening practice. Lately, I've been watching Swedish kids shows like Pippi Longstocking or Tillbaka till Vintergatan in Swedish, just one episode at a time to get more used to natural listening. Altogether, this routine takes about an hour and 20 minutes, and I've been doing this almost every single day. Jag har studerat svenska i ungefär 3 månader. Jag tror att min nivå är runt A2 eller kanske lite B1. Jag är inte så bra än. Att lyssna är svårt för mig. Jag förstår inte allt. Att prata är också lite svårt. Jag måste tänka mycket så jag pratar långsamt. Men att läsa går bättre nu. när jag läser 8 sidor förstår jag lite. Inte allt, men jag förstår vad det handlar om. Alright, so switching back to English. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably already know this, that I'm actually good at staying consistent even when something is incredibly boring, like really boring. And I think that's the biggest reason why I've been able to get this far with Swedish. To be honest, like when I try to speak Swedish with my Swedish friends, they usually tell me that I learn pretty fast. And I think a big part of that just comes from showing up every single day. So I'm going to keep this pace and continue practicing all the way until I go to Gotland in August. And for those of you who are also trying to learn a new language, I really hope you keep going too. Language is something like a long-term game. It takes time and it can be frustrating, but the most important thing is just not quitting. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.